sound like me.
Chai! Now wow, people wey suppose talk true to power don't off mic. And if we talk, now 500,000 they go summer us, call them hate speech. But fear not, Maiyegun don't come. Him go torchlight every corner, nooks and cranny of all these bad people where they spoil our country. So my people make we loud, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh yo yo. My people make we shout, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don't come, man of the masses, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh yo yo. Maiyegun diary Politico, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh yo yo. This one not the off in mind, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh yo yo. Can in the touchlight every corner, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh yo yo. Okay, some people be they holla say they want the power. Chai, them be promise us say we go get light and power. Nah. Them hustle sote they can't get the power. But now they know they do anything with the power. Every day, dollar just they get the higher power over naira. See them talk say make we off mind, but thank God say Maiyegun don't come. So my people make you loud, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh yo yo. My people make we shout, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don't come, man of the masses, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh yo yo. Maiyegun diary Politico, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh yo yo. This one not they off in mind, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh yo yo. Person where they do evil, no one make person talk. Them say that Maiyegun, that man too they talk. He too they talk. Say Maiyegun diary, he they hot like pepper. But every day then they take money in bulk. Woman picking, they the street they hawk. Still them talk say make we no talk. But thank God say Maiyegun don't come. So my people make you loud, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh yo yo. My people make you shout, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don't come, man of the masses, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh yo yo. Maiyegun diary Politico, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh yo yo. This man not the off in mind, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh yo yo.
Good evening to you, good morning to you, good afternoon to you from wherever you are watching from. This is Maiyegun Live.
Maiyegun lawamo, lamo dododo. Maiyegun ti dé o, ọ̀rẹ́ ará yìí. Lórí Facebook, lórí YouTube.
Share the broadcast. Invite your friends. Invite your not so friendly friends. Tell them Maiyegun today.
Àṣírí ọ̀jẹ̀lú kì í bò níbẹ̀ o. Bó bá ṣe àní Maiyegun máa wí.
Do you know that more than 80% of Southerners, they have no idea of what is going on in northern Nigeria? More reason why many of them are resistant to the truth of what Nigeria has become. Today's reality. Share the broadcast. We have been fooled, we have been deceived, we have been manipulated, we have been marginalized, we have been brutalized, we have been communalized. Guess what? There was a foundation for all of this. Only if you know, you will never, ever continue again to defend one Nigeria.
And yes, we like you. Lórí YouTube. And yes, we like you.
Thank you. Share the broadcast. David Hundeyin, a Yoruba blooded son that we should all be proud of, just dropped another bombshell. Things that you were not taught in schools, things that Nigeria would never let you know about, and things that will give you a clue, an idea to why Nigeria is what Nigeria is. I am asking, share the broadcast.
Maiyegun ti dé, gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kì. Maiyegun ti dé, gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra.
They deceived us. They murdered people. They committed genocide. They continue to commit ethnic cleansing, religious persecution. They made you slaves. They brought this upon you, and they made you defend it. They made you stand up, look up to a flag and pledge to Nigeria, your country. You need to know, only if you know. But I'm going to start with this, just before we settle in, right? Because I'm going to read this report. I am going to analyze it. The report is out there. David did a very, very, very credible, factual investigation about those who are actually those behind Boko Haram, terrorism, and all manner of criminality that has now come to envelope Nigeria, that has brought Nigeria to the precipice, a state of total balkanization, and yet they continue to still lie to you. They still want you to continue to believe in that lie, that Nigeria will work. No, this night, you have a clue, an idea why many of us now believe completely that except they call for that national dialogue or whatever name they want to call for it, every nationality in Nigeria should be called to that table and decide if they still want to be part of this arrangement. It is fraudulent. It is corruption. It is what it is, by the way, right? And it is deadly, as murderous as it has been. Nigeria is the only country in the whole world that kill our citizens. And those who kill the citizens are never punished. They are rewarded. You will listen to that tonight. But let's start with this. I'm going to give you about three clips. Okay? And I want you to please pay attention to the messages. Okay? And we will start. I'm going to start with this. And that's this guy.
Bayelsa belongs to Jigawa. The oil in Delta belongs to Jigawa. As long, yes, because we are called Nigeria today. So that's what I'm telling you. The oil belongs to us all. And we, as Nigerians, shall do everything possible to make sure we take that oil so that Jigawa people will have the oil as well. Will have the money of the oil. Anybody who thinks the oil of Bayelsa belongs to only Bayelsa is just deceiving himself. As long as we are in Nigeria, we will make sure that we have uninterrupted supply of oil so that there will be uninterrupted supply of money to Jigawa State. As long as we are called Nigeria. So of course we are not the same people. We have to understand that, look, I am a Fulani man, and Izo is different, Yoruba is different, but then God has made us to stay together. So why can't we attempt to stay together? And I honestly do not mind, even if we're going to part ways. Let's sit on the table, around the table, and agree that, look, that oil of Bayelsa, Jigawa cannot have a share. No way. You know, I don't mind us talking like that. But as of today, that oil, we shall do everything within our means, everything with our blood, to defend our oil in Bayelsa.
Did you listen to that? Forget about the guy, Dogua. Forget about him. Just the message. Did you listen to that? You paid attention, right? Good. Now listen to this other message. Again, this is the second one.
My name is Hundeyin. The reason why we're here today is to protest the killing of innocent women and children, and men for that matter, all over Nigeria, especially in the northern part of Nigeria. We are not happy, we are not pleased with what is happening, and that is why we're here today. As you can see, there are a lot of Nigerians who are protesting about the killing of families, people who are determined to tear the country apart violently, and it is not something that we support. It is not something that we would like to see continue, and we are here today to send a clear message to the Nigerian government through the High Commissioner that what is happening in the country is unacceptable, and we cannot accept it. If that continues, it will lead to the violent situation of the country. There will be no more Nigeria for anyone to go to. There will be no Nigeria for anyone to refer to. In fact, what is happening in Somalia today will be like a tea party. So we cannot allow this nonsense to continue. Something has to be done. And the consequences of the actions of terrorism in Nigeria must be driven home to the people, so that even the terrorists themselves will be able to understand that there is no mileage in where they're going. The only thing they can accomplish is the breakup of Nigeria. If they think that they can cower people, if they think they can force people to be coerced into a religion which is not theirs, then they are clearly mistaken. We are asking for peace. We are asking for people to get together. We are asking for everybody who loves Nigeria, who is associated with that country, to please prevail upon terrorism in Nigeria so we can bring it to an end. That is why a multitude of Nigerians are gathered here today. Those of us in the UK are determined to work with the government for peace. We are determined to work with the International Committee for peace. But one thing we cannot stomach is a repeat of 1966. What is happening today in Nigeria was the reason why Nigeria fought a bitter civil war for 3 years between 1967 and 1970. If this continues, there will be another civil war in Nigeria. And this time around, no place will be safe in Nigeria. This time around, nobody will be safe in Nigeria. So it is imperative that everybody who has the interest of the country at heart acts now and immediately to stop this nonsense from continuing.
Two messages given by two personalities from two different regions. I'm going to let that sink in. Whatever they have told you about Nnamdi Kanu, whatever they are cooking up and doing today to convince you about Nnamdi Kanu, I am about to tell you the foundation of all of that. So pay attention, please. And before I even take you through that, I want you to listen to another message. The reason why I'm sharing this is this, so that you can have the mindset, the idea of those who actually wanted Nigeria to succeed based on equality, fairness, and justice. And those who wanted Nigeria for what they call their own Nigeria. You will live according to their terms and conditions. Or there will be bloodshed, there will be bloodbath, there will be civil war, there will be this, there will be that. That is why I shared that with you. Whatever they are telling you about Nnamdi Kanu today, do you see why I don't believe them? They are so scared of the word of his mouth that when they go to bed, they begin to leave those words. I am going to crush all their sultan. By the time Biafra come, we will ride through Kano. We will ride through Sokoto. We will run them through town. You see all those verbal missiles of Nnamdi Kanu? These guys, they leave those words. And how do you think they will convince you that those words are real if they don't begin this onslaught, these killings, kidnappings, and this fear? I will give you the background. There is no rush. Because partly I am angry, partly I am happy, because I am angry that only if some of us can see through the charade and begin to make up our mind about what really will work for us. You don't protect something that is put together to destroy you. Algeria was put together to destroy you, to destroy me, to destroy even those that they are using as shield. The ignorant fanatics, that they have used religion to brainwash, to commit all of this crime that you are seeing today. They are not coincidences. They are not because of your sins. They are man-made. We're going to go into that. And I'm happy that today, maybe not one person, maybe not two person, maybe not three person, among the Buhari idiots, among the Sai barbarians, among the one Nigerians, the suffering and smiling, obedient, full, sophisticated moron, and the humble slaves, I will manage to change 1, 2, or 3 of them tonight. So partly I am angry, partly I am happy. And you know why? Character like this, look at his face again. His father, his own father, was part of the architect of those who brought upon this Wahabism, Salafism, jihadism, terrorism that you are dealing with in Nigeria today. And I think we should hear from him too. Listen to this.
You seem to approach this with the sense that these bandits are victims. Exactly why? And what are their demands really? What do they really want? Because in spite of your negotiations, attacks continue.
Attacks have lessened. It's just one case you have of the Kagara boys. Without it, there is a drastic change. We have seen absolute drastic change in Zamfara, in Sokoto State, where negotiations are going. So you don't take sporadic cases and just, explode it. Even the Maiduguri incident here I don't think it's a big threat because the military has surrounded the town. There is no more continuous bombardment. It's just sporadic attacks. Shouldn't frighten people. I think the military should be on top of the situation. But yet, negotiations are very useful in seeing that we get these boys or youth to get sense into their head and just admonish them and show them the fear of God. And it also works.
Okay, so in terms of what they want, what exactly did they say to you will make them surrender their weapons? Because no matter how you look at it, they're criminals.
You see, you are emphasizing on criminality. I don't know who, even the press are criminals too, because they are putting fire into, they're putting oil into fire. These people are listening to you. You see, you don't address them as criminals if you want them to succumb. Youth are ready to put down their weapons. Now they are hearing you are calling them criminals. How do you want them to cooperate? So you have to show them they are Nigerians and that they should not hurt children and that they should be law-abiding, they should be good. This
annoying. Yes. But that you listen to right now is the state of Nigeria, right? But you are about to know why. Listen, this article is online, okay? Just search for this headline. Cornflakes for jihad. The Boko Haram origin story. David, wherever you are right now, you told me that you are also a fan of Maiyegun's diary Politico, that you do watch and follow the conversation of Maiyegun's diary Politico. So today, we are appreciative of what you have done and what you are doing. You are using the same saying that pen is mightier than gun. My friends tell me on Maiyegun's diary Politico that my microphone is more powerful than AK-47. That's exactly what you did, and we are grateful to you. I'm going to read this, and as usual, I will be pausing or stopping to drop my own sound bite. But this is David's report. You need to relax, because I'm going to read it relaxed, like somebody who is into storytelling. And when you have time, you need to go and read this again and again and again, or watch this video, this part at this point, again and again. It will shock you. The idea of Nigeria working will continue to fade away from your mind, right? The idea of maybe if a Southern president comes, he can undo what they have done. that idea will begin to die inside you. You begin to see the light. Why many of us are asking the world to stop the genocide in Nigeria, to stop the mass killings in Nigeria, to stop the state-sponsored terrorism in Nigeria, to stop pretending that this is actually, some people are working and working to destroy Nigeria, while the government in Nigeria is doing everything to help Nigerians. We want to continue to tell the world, all these Abdullahis, all these Isa Funtuas, all these Isa pandemics and all of them that are going to be abusing us, abusing me, and saying all manner of rubbish, right? I am about to save your lives. I'm about to tell you something that some of you are so lazy enough to even read. Buhari Deans, the Buhari idiots. This is your opportunity to understand why it is a mirage. And the only thing to save Nigeria is to break Nigeria up. Nigeria is done for. Tobalaye Naija ti ta. Èyí tí àwọn èèyàn ń pè ní ayé Naija ti ta pow 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 bí ìbọn. It is done for Naija, and this is how you understand it. And when we say done, we can maintain our places, protect and stand for Yoruba nation, protect and stand for Biafra. That is the only legitimate thing you will be involved in your life that has to do with you. I mean, with you living forever. I'm talking about your generations now. That should come after you. If you have something to fight for, it should be that. Now, let's get started. Meanwhile, if you are just joining me, please, on YouTube, you can take a moment to, like this video. Go under this video right now. Leave that chat room for a sec. Go under the video. Give that thumb up, right? And then if you haven't subscribed, right, this is also another opportunity for you to do that. While you listen, you can easily just do that, okay? Now, I'm going to start with this. The conflicts. Many of you are familiar with conflicts in Nigeria. Abi? Conflicts, the cereal. That, cereal that many of you who come from the Ajebota houses, people like me, I know chop cornflakes. Not like that, but I do see the carton. So it's only when the rich children, well, better to do family, when they finish with their cornflakes, people like myself, we take the cartons and then we make them into every playful toy we could make it into, or make them into, right? But many of you know about cornflakes, Abi? Now, the story is about cornflakes for jihad. You know what jihad is, Abi? Let's get started. Nigeria's organized Islamic terrorism problem did not start in 2009. It's a lot more insidious than you think. In March 2021, a 96-year-old businessman died in Rome, Italy. In his lifetime, Ahmed Idris Nasiridin might have amassed a personal fortune of close to $500 million. But the death of NASCO, NASCO Group's multimillionaire founder, barely made the news. At first glance, the only extraordinary thing about his life story, was that it embodied the African entrepreneurship dream. Nasiridin was an Eritrean who moved to Jos in Nigeria's Plateau State and grew his father's small manufacturing business into a $460 million conglomerate involved in everything from breakfast cereal and confectionery to pharmaceuticals, real estate, and energy. After many years of growth and success, he eventually handed his sprawling business empire over to his son, Atia Nasiridin, and retired at an old, satisfied age. In an official statement released after Nasiridin's death in March, Plateau State Governor Simon Lalong said, in quote, NASCO has over the years remained a major employer of labor in Plateau and continues to contribute to the economic prosperity of the state and Nigeria at large through tax, revenue, and corporate social responsibility, of quotes. Well, David continues. Well, that was the cover story. Anyway, in reality, as is so often the case in Nigeria, the gap between the facts and the information released to the public is so wide as to be scarcely believable. What on earth could this shrewd, respectable businessman, who looked like he could not hurt a fly, have done to put him in the same article as a story about the world's deadliest terrorist organization? Rhetorical, yeah? Why would the brand he built, which to many Nigerians evokes memories of a beloved childhood breakfast staple, appear in the same sentence as Boko Haram? You will be asking yourself that question. Wetin concern NASCO Group chairman, the billionaire, with Boko Haram? How? Sit back and relax. To answer these questions, our stories begin on another continent in 1955, some 8 years before his father would move to Nigeria and establish NASCO Group. A scholar from Zamfara. The year is 1955, and a 33-year-old Islamic scholar from Gumi in modern-day Zamfara state has made his way to Mecca for his first Hajj pilgrimage. Alongside him is a certain Ahmadu Bello, who is the premier of northern Nigeria. During this trip, the scholar impresses both Ahmadu Bello and the Saudi King Saud with his Arabic translation skills. He rapidly makes a big impression on many locals and clerics in Mecca. This relationship will later become his most valuable asset, following the events that take place after his subsequent return to Nigeria. Upon returning to Nigeria, he takes up positions. He takes up positions in teaching Arabic studies at Islamic schools in Kano and Kaduna. His style of teaching focuses on educating his students about the differences between Islamic religious doctrine and local customs. Based on his strict Sunni understanding of the Quran, he teaches his students to adopt a pure Islamic identity at the expense of practices that he considered bid'ah. And bid'ah is translated as innovation or corruption in Islam. What is bid'ah? Linguistically, bid'ah, which is innovation, means a newly invented matter. The Sharia definition of bid'ah is a newly invented way, beliefs, or action in the religion, in imitation of the Sharia prescribed law, by which nearness to Allah is sought, but not being supported by any authentic proof, neither in its foundations nor in the manner in which it is performed. So, David continued. He also becomes the first Islamic scholar to translate the Quran from Arabic into Hausa, which puts him in a uniquely influential position comparable to that of Ajayi Crowther in 19th century southwestern Nigeria. Using this leverage, he becomes an increasingly powerful figure in northern Nigeria with his essentialist views on Islamic doctrine gaining popularity. To him, the existing Sufi orders of northern Nigeria are polluted with bidah and unfit for purpose. He became well known for attacking the Tijaniya and Qadiriya brotherhoods during his appearances on Radio Kaduna, while advocating for a return to Islamic purity. Following the death of his friend and benefactor Ahmadu Bello, the scholar finds himself in a precarious situation. The new Nigerian federal government, led by soldiers, has a motive to crack down on anyone who is outspoken and influential. He may be a giant in northern Nigeria, but he is a giant with a feet of clay. His solution is to seek financial, doctrinal, and political help from friends in Mecca. The Saudis, as always, are ready to help. I am talking about the father to Nasiridin, the father to the chairman of NASCO Group, the maker of Cornflakes. His father was Islamic cleric, an Islamic cleric who is a fanatic, who went against the norm in the northern Nigeria then, and he sought help from outside Nigeria. That was like seeking funding. Give me money. Let me spread this idea around. Don't rush. No rush. Let us continue. His Saudi backers are keen to use him to espouse the Saudi Arabian state's official interpretation of Islam, which is based on the work of 18th century Islamic scholar Muhammad ibn Abdul al-Wahhab. This fundamentalist doctrine, often known as Wahabism, fits very closely with the teachings of our hero in northern Nigeria, and he enthusiastically sets about gathering support for this new Saudi-funded project. In the 2009 book, The Wahhabi Mission and Saudi Arabia, historian David Cummins says, in quote, the Saudi-funded Muslim world, that is the League, also sent missionaries to West Africa, where it funded schools, distributed religious literature, and gave scholarships to attend Saudi religious universities. These efforts bore fruit in Nigeria's Muslim northern region with the creation of a movement, the Izala Society, dedicated to wiping out ritual innovations. Essential texts for members of the Izala Society are Muhammad ibn Abdul al-Wahhab's treatise of God's unity and commentaries by his grandsons, of quote. Right? And what is Wahabism? Wahabism is a strict, radical, fundamental form of Islam, less extreme than Salafism. It is the state religion of Saudi Arabia, enforced by religious police. Expansionists unite world under Sharia is the agenda. That is why today you have Sharia police in Nigeria, in northern Nigeria. And they considered that the Sharia law are more important than the constitution of the entire Nigeria. Are you following me? Good. Let's continue. Reaching out to his erstwhile students across Kaduna and Kano, Remember that when this man went to Mecca, and he went to Mecca with Ahmadu Bello, and he met his friends in Mecca, the Saudis. When he returned back to Nigeria, he became a teacher in some of the colleges in northern Nigeria. So when he finally got the support he needed, when Ahmadu Bello died, and he wanted to promote what is today the problem that is causing terrorism in Nigeria, yeah, Saudi Arabia gave him the backing. So he had to go back and start the recruitment and begin the teachings. Guys, you are in trouble. You have no idea yet, right? So reaching out to his erstwhile students across Kaduna and Kano over the course of the 1970s, the scholar turned politician slowly builds a coalition of strategically aligned individuals who will someday become very powerful people in northern Nigeria. In 1978, one of his prominent students, Sheikh Ismaila Idris, take charge of this increasingly powerful but somewhat unofficial movement and calls it Jamatul Izalatil Bida wa Ikamatus Sunnah, meaning society of removal of innovation and re-establishment of the Sunnah, also known as Jibwis. They are based in Jos and known colloquially as the Izala movement. This organization will go on to become the most influential Islamic body in Nigeria over the next few decades. Its members will become some of Nigeria's most revered imams and clerics. They will achieve high ranks in the Nigerian armed forces. That face look familiar? Good. Does this face look familiar? Good. They are members of Jibwis. These are members of Jibwis. Those who choose to be cleric, stay cleric. Those who choose to go into politics, they go into politics. It is the same mission. Continue to listen. Jibwis will come to, exert a level of influence over Nigeria's national politics and governance that is unprecedented for a religious body in Nigeria. Soon, it will become almost impossible to achieve power in many parts of northern Nigeria without identifying with the Izala movement. Among other things, the scholar states that Muslims should never accept a non-Muslim as ruler, which can be interpreted as a call for insurrection against a Christian Nigerian president. He is never held to account for this statement. In any case, he no longer believes that writing books or teaching people about Islam will on their own lead to an Islamic renaissance in northern Nigeria. Now, it is all about partnership and politicking. He maintains his membership in northern Nigeria's legacy Islamic group, Jamatul Nasir Islam, Group for the Victory of Islam. But he is unmistakably the beating heart of the new Izala movement. To all intents and purposes, this is the birth of modern Salafist Islam in Nigeria. It's a pandemic. Without firing a shot or winning an election, this Islamic scholar has become one of the most powerful men in northern Nigeria. His name, Abubakar Mahmoud Gumi. Abubakar Mahmoud Gumi. Sheikh Osama bin Gumi's father. Yes. Now, let me tell you something. Go on to the West Africa Weekly. Go on that and please, at this point, subscribe. David had to leave Nigeria to begin to unleash all these facts, indisputable facts. And this doesn't really come cheap. Give him every support you can. Subscribe on there. Please subscribe to his newsletter. He has a lot to offer us. Are you connecting the dots? You must be connecting the dots. Please. Let's now go on. This is how the religion, Islamic North, came to be and all the killings that followed. Listen to this. The clerics, the Saudis, and what happened in Algeria. David is taking us to Algeria now. How all of these things connect. All the interest groups that are actually hovering over Nigeria. And the reason why they have been telling you Nigeria cannot break. You have no idea. Let me tell you something. I am one of those who have been saying, let us make sure that Nigeria breaks up peacefully. No bloodshed. But guess what? To be honest with you, I don't see Nigeria breaking up peacefully. The moment the South begin to take away all of their resources from this whole contraption, the only easy way Nigeria will break up is going to be a civil war. I am not going to begin to lie to myself, and I'm not going to continue to lie to myself, even though we will continue to advise and admonish the people to listen to the truth and embrace it. When you have the largest number, then you have the victory at hand, right? So that we can prevent any bloodshed. Trust me, Nigeria is not going to break up easily. It's going to be bloodshed. These guys are not going to give up easily. And this is why. Let us continue. Algeria connection. Fast forward 33 years. It is Christmas Day in 2011. And Abubakar Gumi has been dead for over 19 years. The man you just saw his picture, Gumi's father, was dead 19 years before this event in 2011. A bomb suddenly goes off at Saint Teresa Catholic Church, Madala, on the outskirts of Abuja, killing 35 people and wounding a further 52. Almost simultaneously, a series of coordinated bomb attacks and shootings take place at churches in Jos, Gadaka, and Damaturu. An obscure Islamic group calling itself Boko Haram claims responsibility for the attacks. For the first time, we heard about Boko Haram. First time. Christmas Day Madala bombing, 2011. During the trial of the main suspects, Kabiru Umar, aka Kabiru Shokoto, 2 years later, a masked witness claimed that an Algerian Islamic group provided funding and support worth 40 million naira, $250,000 at the time, to carry out the attacks. To the general public, it is unclear what the link is between Islamists in northern Nigeria and well-funded terror groups in North Africa. Well, to those in the know, however, the incidents of December 25, 2011 are not only expected, but are likely to intensify and become more regular. This is because while the Nigerian public up to this point has been fed with what amounts to a tiny percentage of the actual story behind the Boko Haram group, this group has in fact been incubating and nurtured at the highest level of the theological, economic, and political spaces in northern Nigeria. Boko Haram in reality is so much bigger than Mohammed Yusuf, and Abubakar Shekau. That reducing it to those two men serves to miss the actual story spectacularly. To start to get some of the pictures of what Boko Haram is and where it came from, let us retreat from 2011 to 2006 to read an excerpt from a letter written by the permanent representatives of Nigeria to the United Nations, Aminu B. Wali, addressed to the chairman of the Counter-Terrorism Committee. This letter is available in full here. That's why you have to go on and read David's article fully, properly, please. There is this letter, right? From the official repository for United Nations documents, written by the Nigerian government to the United Nations. It lays out the measures it has taken to fight terrorism in Nigeria way back in 2006, 5 years before the first bomb goes off in Nigeria. And this is the copy that David attached here. Interesting copy, part of the report submitted by Nigerian representative to United Nations on counter-terrorism effort of Nigeria. Listen. They said, court sitting in Abuja on Friday, March 3rd, 2006, granted an application stopping and freezing the financial and economic assets, including business properties and things within Nigeria belonging to or associated with Ahmed Idris Nasiridin, Nasrate Nigeria Limited, and 3 other companies in that group. The assets were accordingly forfeited to the federal government of Nigeria in the interim. The Nigerian Department of State Services has also done considerable work in respect of tracking down terrorists and freezing and or seizing their assets. It has set up counter-terrorism centers in Lagos, Kano, Maiduguri, and Abuja to facilitate its surveillance. In 2005, the service arrested 6 local Taliban extremists returning from GSPC terrorist camp. The money in their possession was also seized. It had in 2002 failed attempt by GSPC to establish terrorist cells in Katsina, in Kano, in Nigeria. The leader of the network, Yakubu Musa Kafanshan, was arrested and prosecuted, and money and equipment found in their possession confiscated. Similarly, the activities of Aruna Sharu, another agent of GSPC financing extremists and terrorist activities by laundering proceeds from smuggled goods, was detected and dismantled. Several properties, including technical equipment, were seized, and Mr. Sharu arrested and detained. Another attempt in 2003 by another Taliban group to set up camp in Yobe State was also dismantled. This is a fraction of the copy of the report that Nigerian representative sent to the United Nations as far back as 2006. Now, let us continue. It said, banking secrecy and confidentiality has been abolished in Nigeria by virtue of section blah, 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 and the rest. However, a WikiLeaks cable from 2002 confirms that this arrest actually did take place, only for the suspects to be released inexplicably 27 days in detention. Right? Now, this is the WikiLeaks on your screen. In August, security agents arrested and detained for 27 days without charge Sheikh Yakubu Musa, a Katsina-based Islamic scholar. The Abuja High Court later ordered his release. That's the end story, right? For those who are not aware, Yakubu Musa Kafanshan, also known as Sheikh Yakubu Musa Kassina, and he is also known as Yakubu Musa Azan, is a founding member of Izala movement, Jibwis, and is in fact the current chairman of his board of trustees and the chairman of the Katsina State Jibwis chapter. He is a widely respected Islamic cleric and a very close personal friend and public associate of, no prices for guessing, Isa Pandemic, Isa Ali Pantami. Yes, that is a pandemic. Yes. Now, if you don't know about that, you can see these pictures on your screen. Okay, that is Isa Pandemic embracing the board of trustee chairman of Izala movement, the terrorist group that is incubating terrorists in northern Nigeria for decades now. Isa Pandemic is a member of Jibwis himself, and he is the current minister of communications in Nigeria. Are you following? Great. Let us continue. Mr. Kafanshan was even recently named as one of the 500 most influential Muslims in the world by the Royal Islamic Strategic Studies Center, a Jordanian government-affiliated NGO. There is more to that. There is more on that as we continue to read. Yeah? Apparently, Mr. Kafanshan has been known to the Nigerian security forces as the leader of a terror network trying to set up terror cells in Katsina and Kano as far back as 2002. He is known to them. They know him. He is their friend. They are in government now, right? Keep that date in mind because it will become even more important as we unravel this further. According to official Nigerian government communication to the United Nations, this real-life Islamic terror organizer is known to have affiliation with a certain GSPC group trying to carry out terror attacks in Nigeria. And he was even arrested for it in 2005. 4 whole years before the world ever heard of Boko Haram at all. Look at him on your screen. Yet, in 2021, he is not only a free man, but a powerful free man with access to federal ministers, state governors, and President or Presidiot Muhammadu Buhari himself. Look at that picture on your screen. That is him praying for Buhari. And according to the picture, yeah, it says President Muhammadu Buhari, from right to left. So they have Chairman Subeb Kassina Alhaji Lawal Buhari. You have Katsina State APC Chairman Malam Shitu S. Shitu. You have Katsina State Governor Right Honorable Aminu Masari. You have Malam Yakubu Musa, which they changed to Yakubu Musa. That's the Kafanshan guy. Then you have and Chief Judge of Katsina State. Do you see that? When you have terrorists who are in bed with government, how then do you think government will fight will fight Boko Haram? This is why Boko Haram is not declared a terrorist organization in Nigeria. This is why they will never declare Fulani terrorists as terrorist organization in Nigeria. This is why. But relax, we get a long night. Now maybe the storyteller. Now you supposed to know what your Nigeria has become and stop wasting your prayer. Your prayer cannot save Nigeria, okay? Except you save yourselves and save your lives. Trust me, you are done for in that place. No joke about it. And I'm just even being nice saying it that way. Let's continue. And then there is the GSPC angle. GSPC stands for Groupe Salafiste pour la Prédiction et les Combats. I don't know if I pronounce that. I'm not good in French, right? So GSPC stands for Groupe Salafiste pour la prédiction et les combats, meaning Salafist group for preaching and combat. A full primer on the origin of the group and what it stands for is available in a link in this report. Please go on there and find it. Somebody is asking me to give them the link. Come on, man. Somebody should do that for me. Copy the link now. If you are really following what I've been telling you, copy the link now and share it on all those platforms. Twitter, Facebook, YouTube. On this comment section, share it. People want to read them. Quite interesting and revealing. Cliff Note summary. It is an illegal Salafi terrorist organization based in Algeria, which is affiliated with Al-Qaeda and the Taliban. It specializes in providing training, funding, and support to Islamists and jihadi fighters around the world, using a vast global network of smugglers, money launderers, and rat lines, which brings us to the second name in the above letter, except Alhaji Sharu Haruna, in the Nigerian government's own word, is a GSPC agent who funds the activity of the people like Kabiru Shokoto by laundering proceeds from smuggled goods. He too was arrested and held on terror financing charges. Somehow, he too is not only a free man today, but a powerful one in his own right too. It will not surprise the reader or my listener, all of you, to find out that Alhaji Haruna is also a ranking member of the Izala movement. According to this post that David dug up from Facebook accounts linked to the Kano chapter, Kano State Izala movement chapter, Alhaji Haruna is the deputy president of Kano chapter of Jibwis. Yakubu Kafanshan, the indicted terror funder, not only retains his position in Nigeria's most influential Muslim body, but is also a respected Islamic preacher with access to the who is who of Nigerian politics and governance. Look at all this, right? And even more interestingly, when David did some more digging into Mr. Haruna, he discovered something potentially even more alarming. It will be recalled that in September 2021, just last month, September 2021, CBN Governor Godwin Emefiele claimed that a significant portion of dollars bought by Bureau de Change BDC operators in Nigeria goes into illegal importation of arms. Speaking at the end of the monthly monetary policy committee meeting, Emefiele said, in quote, whether it's Boko Haram, kidnapping, and all sorts of nefarious activities, BDCs take our country's dollar and sell to people to go and buy arms and ammunition to come and hurt us. That's what people want us to continue to do. We cannot do that any longer. We can't. If we have any legal, legitimate business, if you have any legal or legitimate business you want to conduct, please take your business to a bank. They will sell you Forex. Off quote. Off quote, yeah. Meanwhile, you know what David did? After the CBN told all of you that some Bureau de Change in Nigeria, they are using dollars to fund terrorism. They will collect dollar and give them to terrorist groups to go and buy weapons that they are using to commit terrorism in Nigeria. CBN governor said that, right? Fine. But what he didn't tell you was that many of those Bureau de Change that they claim to have arrested people, many of them are actually owned by the same people who are the friends of the government, friends of governors, friends, the most powerful Islamic body in Nigeria. They are the ones who control it. They are also the ones who owns the Bureau de Change. Guess what? A search of Nigeria's Corporate Affairs Commission database for the name Sharu Aruno turns up a plethora of companies registered under the Dandima name. These are the names of the companies registered to one of the terrorist smuggler. Somebody who is a smuggler for terrorists. These are the companies that Nigeria know about. They know him. He's been arrested, right? He was released after 27 days. They know him. 5 years before we heard about Boko Haram. Great. These are the companies. Dandima Bureau de Change Limited, Abuja. Dandima Global Investment Limited, Kano. Dandima Agricultural Development Limited, Abuja. Dandima Petroleum Limited, Abuja. Dandima Enterprises, Abuja. Dandima General Service, Abuja. Guys, a man identified by the Nigerian government itself as a security threat for funding terror via money laundering was somehow allowed to own and operate a BDC, Bureau de Change, which according to the CBN governor, could well have been doing precisely that. A CBN circular from October 2020 confirms that at least as recently as last year, Aruno Sharu was allowed to run a BDC in Nigeria, potentially giving him access to the very funding infrastructure that he should not have under any circumstances. Is it making sense to you now? Who are the sponsors of Boko Haram? Who are the people funding Boko Haram? God will unleash, God will bring out all the people. God will do, not God. Forget it. David is doing that now. Don't pretend that you don't know what I'm talking about. Okay? And the way your government, those who are supposed to protect you are protecting them, should give you a sense of, a little bit of sense, I'll say, that stop lying to yourself. Now you have an idea of those who are funding terrorism now. Don't pretend that you don't know. Let us continue. Look at this. If you want to know where these companies are, David did a great job. Oh. He went further to tell us where they are. When you talk about Dandabaru BDC Limited, number 2, Gidan Idi Gambo Wapa Fage in Kano. When you look at Dani BG TS BDC Limited, located in Kano as well, number 14, Danandala Shopping Complex, Hotoro, Kano. You have a Dambo. These are the BDC owned by terrorist funders in Nigeria. The people who have been having access to dollars, pound sterling, every money they could use to buy weapons, that today's terrorism in Nigeria has now come home to stay. Right? These are the Bureau de Change. You have Danibo BDC Limited. It is located at number 7A, Festival Road, opposite Sonny Abacha Stadium, Kano. You have Damburi BDC Limited, number 96 to 102, Broad Street, 8th floor, Lagos Island, Lagos, in Yoruba land. Dancing Stone Forex, that's Dancing Stone FX BDC Limited, number 15, Martins Street, Lagos Island, Lagos. Dandawaki Investment BDC Limited, number 16, Wakpa Road, Kano. Danda, where's the other one there? All right. Now, the next one is Dandima BDC Limited, located at number 2, Manzini Street, near Mr. Biggs, Wuze Zone 4, Abuja. Then you have Danenjawa BDC Limited, number 4, Ajasa Road, Kano. Danenu BDC Limited, Zone A4, Suit 69, Aspamda Trade Fair, Badagry Expressway, Lagos. Dangumel BDC Limited, number 8 and 9, Islamic Foundation Shopping Complex, opposite Umar bin Khattab Jumat Mosque, Dangi in Kano. Dan Ahua BDC Limited, second floor, suite 208, Fabidal Plaza, Wuze Zone 4, Abuja. Daniel Was BDC Limited, Zone D, Block 9, Shop 95, Aspamda Trade Fair Complex in Lagos. So if you have visited any of these BDC before, you didn't know that you have managed to fund terrorism. When you went there to sell your dollars, sell your pound sterling, sent to you by your brothers, your sisters, your family members from abroad, dollars you made from your trade. When you went to those BDC, you have funded terrorism over the years. Now you have their names. Don't pretend. Please don't pretend. Let me take a break. So please, if you have been following this from the start, you can take a break too. Zip something, get something on to you know what I mean. Just pretend that we are just reading it together, okay? And to my friends on YouTube, we are now over 2,300. I can see that. Can you just take a moment, right? If you haven't subscribed onto Maiyegun's Diary Politico, do that this hour, okay? This minute, while I take my own tea break, right? And give me that thumb up on that there. We only have about 800 of us who were able to give a minute to give that thumb up. Why you do that, right? I'm going to take a tea break. So let's do that. Go on there, just 1 minute, subscribe onto Maiyegun's Diary Politico, and I will be back. Very, very straightforward. So thank you very much for doing that. If you have done it, okay? Take that, you go and give that thumb up. I mean, please let us continue. A glance at one of the other Dandima business entities shows that even the email address used to register this entity, purportedly a petroleum company, albeit one with zero identifiable corporate footprint, belongs to Dandima BDC, which says everything about how important the BDC is to Haruna Sharu. The question left unanswered is why? David has an answer, and that's it. Let's continue. So you go and read the article. You should read the article, okay? Now, I'm continuing with this. Saradin Sharu Haruna is Sharu Haruna's son. So it is no surprise for him to show up as a director on his father's BDC registration document. There is just one problem. Remember, Emefiele saying that BDCs facilitate terror financing? Do you remember that Emefiele said that, right? Well, just a month before he made that comment, a circular was sent out to banks by the Central Bank of Nigeria with the names of 18 companies and individuals whose bank accounts were to be frozen with a PND, that is post no debit mandate. Very unusually, no reason was given for the instruction, and also unusually, on a list made up of corporate accounts, there was an account belonging to an individual. His name, let's find out. Saradin Haruna Sharu. And there is a cable report that David screenshotted into his own report. I'll read it. It says the affected companies include Bakori Mega Services, or I'll go to that one. It says also included are Trainer Software Ventures, Firestream Global Concept Limited, Samarise Global Nigeria Limited, and Saradin Haruna Sharu. Now, in David expose, just to show you that picture, right? Now, let's go back to Eritrea. Don't forget, that this Saradin, and all these guys, they are from Eritrea. Remember that, yeah? Now, let's go back again to Eritrea. We now rejoin our Eritrean friend in the year 2006. The Nigerian Financial Intelligence Unit, NFIU has recently been gazetted, and one of the first things its counterterrorism unit does is to freeze all assets linked to NASCO Group Nigeria Limited. Apparently, Mr. Nasiridin has been doing some creative accounting to hide the fact that he is moving money around the world to fund Islamist terror organizations. Or at least that it was what the Nigerian government itself wrote to the United Nations in the same letter. In the letter the United Nations sent, the Nigerian sent to the United Nations, it may be so tiny on your screen, okay? So I'm going to try and just read it out for you. The Nigerian Financial Intelligence Unit also became operational in January 2005. It is now the only central body responsible for the receipt, analysis, and dissemination of intelligence packages to law enforcement agencies and regulations. Regulations. It also exchanges information with other FIUs around the world. It receives suspicious transaction reports, STR, and currency transaction reports, CTR, from banks, other financial institutions, and designated financial institutions. So this body investigated NASCO chairman Nasiridin in 2006, and they froze many of their assets, right? Now, a WikiLeaks cable from 2002 hints at American hesitancy on the subject of freezing NASCO's Nigerian assets due to the economic implications for Plateau State and political implications in Nigeria. So America refused to do that for them when they submitted that report to United Nations. Thank you so much, Noel J. Let me see what your super chat is. Quick one. Guys will be like, Maiyegun, please continue. Maiyegun, don't stop. I know. I told you. This is an analysis. And thank you, Not J. General, can the link be shared? I'm watching on YouTube. Thank you. Please, somebody should help me copy the link. I will copy the link myself. In fact, there's no point in asking you to do it for me anymore. Let me copy the link. If you are watching it live, you will be able to use this link now. If you're watching a replay, you're just going to see the link in the comment. Okay. Please use it to read more. It's so deep. Okay. Let us continue, please. For those who might likely find it too long. Some people enjoy me reading it out now because according to them, you can listen and say, But when you say open the link and read, Baba, it's very long. Very long. But you must. You are not really going to get bored. Okay. But I enjoy reading it. That's why we call Maiyegun Diary Politico a diary. This is a place you can always say, oh, if there's this story I want to know more about, let me just go and see it on Maiyegun's diary. Let me go onto the diary. That is why you have to subscribe if you haven't, okay? Go on there now and click that subscription button, right? Back to the WikiLeaks report on why America did not freeze the asset of NASCO group. Thank you very much. The WikiLeaks report says the mission does not know the extent to which NASCO's Nigerian operation contribute to the global network of terrorism. Nor are we arguing that the NASCO group should not be placed on the list. If NASCO has abetted terrorism, it should pay the price for that affiliation. However, we would like to make Washington aware of the potential reaction in Nigeria to such a move and to the effect it might have on our relations here. If NASCO is added, the public disclosure of the corroborative evidence will go far in reducing the inevitable criticism of our move. Additionally, we offer other thoughts in paragraph 13 and 14 below on how the NASCO group link with terrorism could be severed, but in ways that would tend to reduce the fallout inimical to the US-GON bilateral relationship. These ideas include the proposal that say freezes ordered should be limited to the NASCO parent company in Turkey, not the Nigerian subsidiaries. Reftel C was transmitted in error and should be disregarded. End summary. This is a American ambassador to Nigeria sending a telegram or something to the American government that, yes, it is true that NASCO group and their chairman, they have been funding global terrorism. This was like 5 years before you ever heard about Boko Haram in Nigeria. They were only recruiting you in Nigeria, using the Islamic cleric that you call powerful Islamic cleric. Don't insult our cleric. They are the cleric that will tell you to go and kill somebody simply because a cartoon was posted by a Denmark or a Danish cartoonist. They are the people that will kill somebody. They will say because somebody trampled upon a Quran, they will say they have to kill that person, that they will start killing. This cleric, before they start this Boko Haram, right? They have been sponsoring terrorism globally. And at the same time in Nigeria, waiting for the time they have number of people that will have the orientation to kill you in the name of Allah since 2006. So American ambassador in Nigeria at the time said, if America should place him and freeze his access and all of that, your Cornflakes in Nigeria would have stopped years ago, right? And they said that will send a wrong political signal to Nigeria. So America should not do that for that sake. Another way, they protected them from you knowing the real sponsor of terrorism that you are now battling with today in Nigeria. More than 10 million people displaced. More than 2 million people killed, right? Over tens of thousands of communities ransacked and destroyed, displaced, people completely lost. The war that has cost you trillions of your naira and billions of dollars. The genesis is this. Let us continue. The real proof of Nasiridin's double life, however, comes from the U.S. Treasury Department, which publishes a comprehensive account of how he laundered and moves money around the world for terrorist activity, for terrorist entities. Want to hear the real kicker? Nasiridin has been funding and laundering money for none other than GSPC, the Algerian terrorist group, which Yakubu Kassina and Sharu Aruna are also involved with at the exact same time. As you dey chop cornflakes, the thing say God don't bless you. Every penny coming from that, every profit being made there is being laundered to go and fund terrorism for years. The Nigerian jihadists being trained in Algerian camps in 2002 will later return to Nigeria and make up the core of what will later become known as Boko Haram. And what a coincidence! NASCO is also based in Jos, which so happens to be the headquarters of the Izala movement and its many North African alliances, using money made from selling market-leading FMCGs to Nigerian consumers. A cross-border network of terrorism is being nurtured that will someday kill the very kids eating NASCO cornflakes every morning. And it's all thanks to this nice gentleman from Eritrea, Nasiridin Ahmed Idris Nasiridin. Ha! Boko Haram came from Eritrea. The father of Boko Haram came from Eritrea after meeting Ahmadu Bello, after meeting is mega financiers. Today, children eating cornflakes every morning are now being killed by the children trained from the proceed made, trained for jihadis, from the proceed made from selling cornflakes to your children. No wonder I shared the video, I shared the image of my family, my very beautiful, very, very beautiful, amazing family that I love so much. And the Buhari idiots came under there, fuming, foaming in the mouth. You sit down in the UK and you are working for Nigeria to break up. You are sending people to go and fight government. The reason why many of you are now running away from Nigeria, the reason why many of you are still going to run away from Nigeria is simply because the people who brought Boko Haram to Nigeria, they are called leaders, cleric leaders, Islamic religious leaders, opinion holders, and these ignorant buffoons that are actually, endangered species in the hands of these criminals. They want to blame me. In fact, they are blaming me for why their children are being kidnapped. They are blaming me for why you are in such a mess. How convenient. How convenient. And they ignore this man. Is dead, but his legacy lives on. The legacy of terrorism. Ahmed Idris, Nasiridin. Makes sense to you? Okay. Let me read a little bit about this other report attached. Based on information available to Italy and the United States, Joseph Nada and Ahmed Idris Nasiridin, through commercial holdings, operate an extensive financial network providing support for terrorist-related activities. In the case of Nada and Nasiridin, this involves an extensive conglomeration of businesses from which they derive their income, or through which they conduct transactions. Based on evidence of their support of terrorism, Nada and Nasiridin were previously designated by the international communities as financiers of terror. Nada was designated by the United States on November 7, 2001, and by the United Nations on November 9, 2001. Nasiridin was designated as a financier of terror by the G7 on April 19th, 2002, and by the United Nations on April 24, 2002. Nasiridin's corporate holdings and financial network provide direct support for Nada and Bank Al-Taqwa, which was also previously designated by the United States on November 7, 2001, and the United Nations on November 9, 2001. This designation of 14 additional entities owned or controlled by either Nada or Nasiridin will further restrict their assets and their network by precluding these companies from being used to provide funding or support for terrorism. Nasiridin and Nada, who have worked closely together for many years, are both directors of Bank Al-Taqwa and Akida Bank. Nada owns a controlling interest in Bank Al-Taqwa, and Nasiridin owns a controlling interest in Akiba Bank. Bank Al-Taqwa and Akiba Bank are not functional banking institutions in the conventional sense, they are shell companies lacking a physical presence and sharing the same address in the Bahamas where they were licensed. For this reason, the licenses of Bank Al-Taqwa and Akida Bank have been revoked by the Bahamian government. Bank Al-Taqwa, for which Nasiridin is a bank director, was established in 1988 with significant backing from the Muslim Brotherhood. They have been involved in financing radical groups such as the Palestinian Hamas, Algeria's Islamic Salvation Front, and Ahmad Islamic Group, Tunisia's and Nada, and Usama bin Laden, which is Osama bin Laden, and his Al-Qaeda organization. Bank Al-Taqwa was established in the Bahamas and is a close affiliate of the Al-Taqwa Management Organization, which changed its name in the spring of 2000 to the Nada Management Organization. Now, in 1997, it was reported that the $60 million collected annually for Hamas was moved to Bank Al-Taqwa account. As of October 2020, Bank Al-Taqwa appeared to be providing a clandestine line of credit to a close associate of Osama bin Laden. And as of late September 2001, Osama bin Laden and his Al-Qaeda organization received financial assistance from Youssef M. Nada. Nada and Nasiridin own or control a number of business entities through direct ownership, control, or in cooperation with each other. 14 of these entities are being designated in furtherance of the prior designations of these two individuals to disrupt their use of assets under their ownership or control that could be used to finance terrorist activities. These are heroes in Nigeria. These are people call heroes, God sent. These are people who finance pilgrimages, like, the rich people in northern Nigeria, like Dangote, sending people to Mecca, sending people here, sending people there. David, if you are watching my video, I know you are doing something even bigger than this. It was you who unleashed Issa pandemic, who told us about Issa pandemic. And since you did that, we have never recovered from the truth. And this one you have just dropped now, please do us a favor. You want to know about the quota system, the quota-made billionaire called Dangote. I am suspecting him too, and I know you can do a good job. Let me continue. Nasiridin, however, is a very rich man. Like all very rich men, he appears to have a way around problems that would ground other people. In 2005, Lisa Myers and Aram Rostin of the NBC News investigative unit discovered that despite his designation as a terror financier in the US, Nasiridin's Nigeria business empire and his Italian hotel are still operating as normal. Quoted in the story, Victor Comras, a former terror finance expert at the State Department, says, in quote, this isn't a loophole. This is failure to implement the sanctions appropriately. He's been involved in terrorist financing. Let's put him out of business. Off quote. But remember the memo sent by the American ambassador that they can target his businesses elsewhere, but they shouldn't target Nigeria or his business in other places, so that not to send wrong signal, because that will affect the relationship of America with those who have managed to then take over the control of power in Nigeria. They control the finance sector. They control the government. They control the judiciary. They control the political space. And guess what? If anybody wants to do business and they say they are still supporting Nigeria, these are the guys they are meeting. So American ambassador sent a memo that America should not target, though there should be sanction, because there is evidence that is financing terror. He is in Nigeria, an Eritrean from Eritrea, whose father is from Eritrea, and he in Nigeria financing terror. His businesses were looking normal. He is still a hero in Nigeria. They continue to enjoy that. However, yeah, that will prove easier said than done, because just 2 years later, in 2007, just a second, please. That will prove easier said than done, because just 2 years later, in 2007, the LA Times publishes a story indicating that, to all intents and purposes, Nasiridin has cut some kind of deal with the US government, likely involving asset forfeitures, to get his name off the list of terror financiers. He has been indicted for funding terror, some of which has found its way into the lives of the Nigerian consumers who have made him who have made him fabulously wealthy. But he is off the hook. So LA Times released this story. Let me, again, if you read that link I sent to you just now, right? You will see that. So read that because of our time. So, for the people who have died in the Madala Christmas Day bombings, facilitated by the people he funded and supported, there will be no justice. Nasiridin gets to hand over NASCO to his son, and he lives out the rest of his life in peace and comfort, dying at the ripe old age of 96 in an Italian hospital. Now back, friends and alliances in high places. How have they sustained the terror to make sure that it comes to be and it becomes what we are dealing with today? How? David said, I mentioned earlier that the death of Yakubu, Katsina's initial attempt to establish terror cells and Taliban training camps in Kano and Katsina was important. Here is why. Remember Abubakar Gumi's stated position that Muslims should never accept a non-Muslim as ruler. It just so happens that the concerted push for Sharia law across 12 northern Nigerian states lines up perfectly with the election of Olusegun Obasanjo as president in 1999. Examining the eras of Shehu Shagari, Muhammadu Buhari, Ibrahim Babangida, Sani Abacha, and Abdulsalami Abubakar as consecutive Muslim Nigerian heads of states, it is nearly impossible to establish the existence of directed and coordinated push for Islamic law in that era. Following Obasanjo's entry, however, Zamfara, Kano, Sokoto, Katsina, Bauchi, Borno, Jigawa, Kebbi, Yobe, Kaduna, Niger, and Gombe states decided in quick succession to embrace a separate penal code from the southern Nigeria based on Sharia law. You never heard about Sharia law until Obasanjo came, right? Some of you didn't know how Obasanjo even came to become your president. Obasanjo was on a death row. Abacha already condemned him to death. He was to be killed, right? Then they brought him out of the death row after the death of Abacha. Yoruba said, no, we don't know him. We're not going to vote for him. He doesn't even have any interest of Yorubas at that. But these people said he will be the president, and he became the president. Some of you don't know the underhand dealing that went into that. And why? Obasanjo had no choice but what? To let them have Sharia under a Yoruba president, a Southerner. Understand the political resonance of the Izala movement in Nigeria, in northern Nigeria, and the power wielded by the indicted terror financiers and terrorists who still sit on his board is key to understand two things about terrorism in Nigeria. The first one, Boko Haram is a logical development growing out of the rise of political Islam in Nigeria, with its roots in Salafism, popularized by Abubakar Gumi and his ideological heirs. It is impossible to divorce Abubakar Gumi use of Saudi money and Wahhabi indoctrination in the 1970s from the adoption of Sharia law in northern Nigeria. The rise of the violent Salafists like Abubakar Shekau, and Issa Pantami, and the eventual inevitable mass uprising against the Nigerian state that will take place in the north. That's the first one. You remember Issa Pandemic? Issa Pandemic is your today's Minister of Communication. Let me see if this is going to play.
Haka mu a fahimtar muna roƙon Allah ya kai mu ran da hatta kuɗin da ke aljihu za ta rahoto a jiki. Don taswiri kwata-kwata ba ma bukatar sa duniya sai dai a darura. Amma hatta wannan ba ka da kaulin malami dai a duniya da yace halal ne. Sai dai kawai darura. To Allah ya sadda mu a cikin wannan. Mu kai matakin da kuɗi ma mun fi karfin taswiri. Ba ma bukatar taswiri a jiki. A addinin mu taswiri ko hoton sahabi ne ai ba addini bane ajiyewa. Saboda hatta wannan Allah ya kai mu da wannan Gregorian date kalendar arna da ke bikin kudi Allah ya ce wa ma qataluhu wa ma salabuhu walakin shubbiha lahum na an kashe Isa alayhi salam duk wannan ba mu bukatar sa kuma in Allah ba mu dama duk za a gusar da shi insha Allah ta'ala.
I don't know if you heard that. Please let me know. Did that audio played out when I was playing that audio there? Did you hear the audio? Thank you. I'm going to continue. You did hear the audio. God bless you. That means this is perfect. And you also saw the subtitle, Abi, right? Let's continue. The second one, understanding Boko Haram now. How did you come to Boko Haram? How come Boko Haram cannot be defeated, right? Now, this is us getting to that point now, okay? While the Boko Haram brand is an unattractive one, the goals of Boko Haram are by no means unattractive to those who make up the ideological core of the Izala movement, which is Nigeria's most influential Islamic sect. Aminu Daurawa was famously praised, who famously praised the September 11 attacks in a 2001 sermon with a quote claiming that Allah is a suicide bomber. Is today the head of Kano's Isba police. Maybe you didn't hear what I said. Or you didn't hear? Okay, I'm going to say it again. That Aminu Daurawa, who famously is a clerical, is also an Islamic cleric in Kano. In 2001, he famously praised the September 11 attack. That is the attack on the World Trade Center in America. He praised it when he was preaching to his people. And he told them, he said, Allah is a suicide bomber. Akimu, I'm talking to you, Akimu. That is thinking when we talk about these criminals, and the type of the ideology they have. Because you be Akimu, because you are also doing your own 5 days Salatu prayer, you think when we talk about them, we are attacking your Islam. We are attacking your faith. So because of that, you are defending them. Akimu, you are a Yoruba boy. You are not a Salafist. You are not from Eritrea. You are not from Algeria. You are not. Do you actually believe Allah is also a suicide bomber? Akimu. She's suicide bomber ni Allah. Do you now see why you don't have anything in common with these guys? The only thing that make you think you can defend them is because you think this is about Muslim versus Christian. No, no. These are extremists. These are fanatics. These are people that will kill you and they will justify it. Akimu, your reason for defending Nigeria is because of your Muslim brother from Kano. Akimu, I'm calling your name simply because I know so many Akimus that are actually born mumus. Sometimes they look smart. Oh. There are many smart Akims, oh, and Akims are always smart. By the way, I have so many Akims that are really smart, very smart guys, right? But the only way you can press their mumu button is when you begin to say, you know what I mean? Akimu, mumu button will be up. Akimu, I'm calling you now. This is not the reason. This is why you want to keep Nigeria. This is why you don't want to listen to your brothers. This is why you want your brothers killed for asking for Yoruba nation. Akimu, Sheloto Allah is a suicide bomber. Okay. Somebody said that. And that person is now the head of Kano Isba. Do you now understand why they say Kano Isba and Isba and Sharia is for the poor people? Somebody called Aminu Daurawa is there in Kano right now doing Allah police. Terrorist too. Anyway, I keep my hands off. Right? Let's continue. You remember this guy again? David. God will continue to bless you. They say something too good. Sometimes when you want pray, you feel cause. Isa pandemic, your minister of communication, all this thing where you do, all the phones you are watching me on right now, as you are watching from Nigeria, the phones you are watching on, the TV you are watching on, everything you are using right now, the person in charge of that is a terrorist. He is a terrorist. Isa pandemic. Listen to this.
Manya-manyan tankunan yaƙi, jiragen sama ana ƙoƙarin ajiye su akan boda, ana buƙata a zo a yi dominating ƙasar, su yi imposing wanda suke so akan mulki. Don daman strategy ne na duk ƙasar kafirai ya tafi ƙarfi a duniya ya zama duk wata ƙasa sun ɗora wani wanda suke so akan mulki. Shi yasa muke ta addu'a Allah ya gaggawa gusar da musta 0-0. Allah ya kawo mana musulmi na ƙware mai jin tsoron Allah. Kun gane ba ake nufi ko mai bakin jaba? Na'am.
Are you still following me? Right. The next chapter. As long as Isa Pantami, Mr. 00, a reference, that's what they call the Salafist, 00. If you are not a Salafist or a Muslim, they don't want to have anything to do with you. Not to talk of you leading them. Are you mad? You want to be their leader. Are you actually serious? So people like Isa pandemic is 00. Mr. 00, a reference to an ideological pure Muslim with zero tolerance for bid'ah. That is a hardline Salafist. Retains his obvious and unapologetic sympathy for an organization with clear and ongoing links to the enemy he claims to be fighting against as Nigeria's president. The Izala movement has no incentive to reinvent itself. There is no way that the Nigerian president is not aware of Yakubu Musa Azan Katsina's history as a known terrorist, as well as the Izala movement's extremely problematic history and current composition. And yet, as recently as 2018, President Boko Haram was pictured in Aso Rock meeting with Izala movement president Abdullahi Bala Lau, Yakubu Musa Azan Katsina, Kabiru Gombe, and Ibrahim Jalo Jalingo. And this is the picture. The Izala movement at the seat of power of Nigeria. The terrorists. Look at their faces. The terrorists. that you have been wondering, who are the financiers of terrorism in Nigeria? Who are those sponsoring terrorism? How come government cannot arrest them? They walk into government house, they see your president because he's one of them too. Wait, Bill, I said the story never even reached half. Some people are saying I should open the line. We are not taking calls tonight. You see, this whole thing will be in the same video. All of this I'm going to finish tonight, no matter how long it takes. We'll put it in the same video, right? Then we are going to we're going to feed on them one by one on my subsequent broadcast. That's where you're going to come in. That's why you have to listen to this and listen and pay attention to the detail so that you will remember everything and you will be spurred to know that you can't save Nigeria. Stop deceiving yourselves. No, stop. The only way to save Nigeria is to begin the process of national conversation and the process of a national disintegration so that everybody can begin to go their separate ways. It is either that's David. David said it is either I have more access to information about his friends and associates than the Nigerian president does. With a plethora of intelligence and information gathering agencies at his disposal, or he knows all this already and he has chosen a side. Clearly, to the Izala movement, this picture taken in 2018 was a statement. Indeed, it was. An Obasanjo government may have arrested Yakubu Katsina. Remember who was in power in 2006? It was Obasanjo. So, an Obasanjo government may have arrested Yakubu Katsina and his likes in 2005. But 13 years later, Katsina's ideological ally is in office, standing solidly next to him. As he stood solidly next to Issa Pantami, the Izala movement has won and everybody else has lost. You have lost. If you think you are fighting to save Nigeria, the terrorists have won. Listen to me, they have won. You have no clue. The only other angle of high-level involvement not yet addressed is that of the Jordanian government. Recall that Yakubu Katsina was named among the world's 500 most influential Muslims by a Jordanian state-backed NGO. Well, it turns out that the NGO in question, the Royal Islamic Strategic Studies Center, is itself affiliated with the Royal Al-Bayat Institute for Islamic Thought. A visit to the institute's website reveals something strange. One of its publications titled Report on the Inter-Religious Tensions and Crisis in Nigeria, published in May 2012, has the following to say about ending violence between Muslims and Christians in Nigeria, right? On their website, they said, economic. Rampant neglect and mismanagement in various economic sectors, even at the highest levels of government, the vast disparity between wealth, education, healthcare, and employment levels in the Muslim North versus the Christian South, tension arising from Akwa Ibom, Rivers, Bayelsa, and Delta states wanting bigger shares of oil and gas production, leading to disparity in the quantum of funds allocated to the states in the oil-producing areas versus the states in the north, where no northern state produce any oil or gas, and there is over-reliance on federal allocation derived from oil revenue because of negligible internal revenue generation in states. The underdevelopment of a number of natural resources and sectors, e.g., agriculture, mining, due to the focus since independence on Nigeria's oil and oil wealth. Then poverty, unemployment. Then second to the last part of their economic concern is this. They said land disputes and lack of clearly demarcated grazing grounds for the nomadic Fulani cattle herders. Lack of assistance of of the part of the of government to victims of violence housed in refugee camps to enable them to re-establish normal life. These are the economic concerns they feel for the North and why they have to act as fast as possible. 2012. Now, let's continue. This report, produced by a state-funded NGO in Jordan, as far back as 2012, is prima facie evidence of a coordinated international campaign of strategic disinformation for the purpose of framing the reality of terrorism in Nigeria in a way that is completely dishonest, making reference to alleged income disparity between the Nigerians, Christian South and Muslim North. The report attempts to portray the latter as the victims of economic bullying and poverty, without citing data to support this conclusion. Very tellingly, at a time when conversation about violence related to nomadic cattle herding were not yet present in Nigeria political equation, 2012, we're not talking about Fulani land where farmers had clashes whatsoever. In 2012, but as far back as 2012, they were already talking about grazing route, there's demarcated route, this and that. And then, 9 years after that, 2012 to now, how long is that? 9 years after that, they are now killing people because they want cattle colony, they want Ruga, they want grazing routes. Does that now, are they making sense to you now? Maybe not yet at this point, right? Let's continue again. Very tellingly, at a time when conversation about violence related to nomadic cattle herding were not yet present in Nigeria's political equation, a Jordanian organization with links to Yakubu Kasina, a known Nigerian terrorist, was already recommending grazing routes as a solution for a problem that for the most part did not actually exist yet. 9 years later, the question is, how did they know that one day Nigeria will have to start talking about grazing routes? How did they know? That you didn't know? I didn't know. Nobody knew. Well, let's go to what they have done to the people of Southern Kaduna. Let me share this with you as well. The clip is online, and it's fair enough to tell you how 35 people were killed in a single raid. They call it farmers' herders clashes, but we did not see any herders who got killed. But 38 innocent people, harmless people, were slaughtered. And this is the evidence.
These are some of the bodies. You can see they've been loaded into the truck. There's the first truck. There's the second truck. The second truck. And here we have the third truck. Total of 35 caskets brought for the 35. There were actually 38 victims. 3 were buried on Monday, because the bodies were not good enough to be kept. So that's the last casket which has been loaded. See a lot of women that are wailing and grieving over the death of their loved ones.
That's Southern Kaduna. And if you want to see it better, I think I'll share this.
By their persecution, it is boldly in the words of the Holy Scriptures. We shall separate them from the love of Christ. We shall tribulation, or distress, or persecution, or famine.
That is the picture of what and why you can't defeat terrorism in Nigeria. You can't. The only way to defeat terrorism in Nigeria is to begin and I mean, is to join others who want to peacefully evacuate from Nigeria so that they can have their Nigeristan without having to subject you and I to this perpetual sort of a condemnation, because is this what it is now? Yeah? When they ask you to join them to gaslight the Biafrans, to gaslight the Yorubas, to gaslight your brothers, your sisters for Nigeria, I hope you know I hope you have an idea of that Nigeria you are fighting for. These are entrenched, established guys. And if you are waiting for your Tifnumbu, which they send their delegates, maybe it is the Izala movement that Tifnumbu will have to go and pledge allegiance to if he wants to really be your president in 2023. Before I go, I'm going to now take you back again to the first 3 clips I shared with you. And I want you to leave this conversation tonight with your well-fed mind and tell me who exactly are the enemies that brought all of us to these states, right? Is those who brought us to this level of subjugation and condemnation of more or less like condemned to death? Would you say this person loves a Nigeria that respects everyone's boundary? Would you say that?
Bayelsa belongs to Jigawa. The oil in Delta belongs to Jigawa. As long, yes, because we are called Nigeria today. So that's what I'm telling you. The oil belongs to us all. And we as Nigerians shall do everything possible to make sure we take that oil so that a lot of people will have the oil as well, will have the money of the oil. Anybody who thinks the oil of Bayelsa belongs to only Bayelsa is just deceiving himself. As long as we're in Nigeria, we will make sure that we have uninterrupted supply of oil so that there will be uninterrupted supply of money to Jigawa State, as long as we are called Nigeria.
That's the first one. Or this is the person you should call your enemy.
My name is Hundeyin. The reason why we're here today is to protest the killing of innocent women and children, and men for that matter, all over Nigeria, especially in the northern part of Nigeria. We are not happy, we are not pleased with what is happening, and that is why we're here today. As you can see, there are a lot of Nigerians who are protesting about the killing of families, people who are determined to tear the country apart violently, and it is not something that we support. It is not something that we would like to see continue, and we are here today to send a clear message to the Nigerian government through the High Commissioner that what is happening in the country is unacceptable and we cannot accept it. If that continues, it will lead to the violent disintegration of the country. There will be no more Nigeria for anyone to go to. There will be no Nigeria for anyone to refer to. In fact, what is happening in Somalia today will be like a tea party. So we cannot allow this nonsense to continue. Something has to be done. And the consequences of the actions of terrorism in Nigeria must be driven home to the people, so that even the terrorists themselves will be able to understand that there is no mileage in where they're going. The only thing they can accomplish is the breakup of Nigeria. If they think that they can cower people, if they think they can force people to be coerced into a religion which is not theirs, then they are clearly mistaken. We are asking for peace. We are asking for people to get together. We are asking for everybody who loves Nigeria, who is associated with that country, to please prevail upon terrorism in Nigeria so we can bring it to an end.
Not just that. Or, no, I don't want to annoy you. I wanted to share the other one, Gumi. It's like some of you already know the story of Gumi better now. So if you want to know where Gumi is getting his money from, just think about where was his father getting his own money from. Where? I won't say more. Thank you to every one of you who took your time to join me tonight. Watch this video again if you are just joining. It's quite interesting, revealing. But read the article more. I'm going to reshare the article now in the comments for those who would like to go on and read it, okay? Open it up right now and take a time to read. It's quite interesting and revealing. You would read and get until you understand it, and you will never go out there to condemn anybody. We're saying we don't want to be killed anymore. We don't want our people to get slaughtered anymore. We want to be free away from all this whole machination and this bloodbath and this whole thing. We want to opt out. So you won't go out there and fight or condemn them. You will join them because it's the right thing to do. And that is why if you are a student here in Scotland, or even in the UK, you know, I don't know how much your travel card can take you, but if you're a student in this in Scotland, do please make it a date with us next week, Sunday, the 10th of October, where we're having our solidarity rally, you know, for the persecution of the indigenous people in Nigeria, endorsed by the Yoruba Global Directorate, which are also going to be present there too. You are all invited. Be part of it. Stop joining or spreading the lies that those who are asking for peaceful conversation on how to actually end this are the enemies. I've just gave you the picture. And stop asking, who are the sponsor of Boko Haram and terrorism in Nigeria? Start saying, when is Nigeria going to really prosecute the sponsor of Boko Haram? Maybe never. So we're not going to be part of that. We can opt out, can't we? See me some other time if you can. I'm going to see you again tomorrow. And before you go, please give me that thumb up under that video. Do it. Because, you've been with me for for the past 2 hours, I would say. So if that would be the last thing you'll do before you go, please do it, right? Give that thumb up under that video. Share the video. Subscribe as well, so that when I come on next, you won't miss anything. And thank you so much for your time tonight. I'm going to see you some other time. Good night.
Àní ẹ̀sùnra kì í. Maiyegun ti dé. Maiyegun ti dé. Ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùnra kì í. Maiyegun ti dé. Àní ẹ̀sùnra kì í. Maiyegun ti dé. Lórí Facebook. Maiyegun ti dé. Àní ẹ̀sùnra kì í. Maiyegun ti dé. Lórí YouTube. Maiyegun ti dé. Àní ẹ̀sùnra kì í. Maiyegun ti dé. Bọ́ bàbá gbé wúrẹ́. Àní ẹ̀sùnra kì í. Maiyegun ti dé. Bíjó ìgbádìyẹ. Maiyegun máa wí. Àní ẹ̀sùnra kì í. Maiyegun ti dé. Pẹ̀sìdó bá rúfin o. Maiyegun máa wí. Àní ẹ̀sùnra kì í. Maiyegun ti dé. Bí gómìnà kówó jẹ. Maiyegun máa wí. Àní ẹ̀sùnra kì í. Maiyegun ti dé. Ọlọ́pàá tí ń gba rìbá. Maiyegun máa wí. Àní ẹ̀sùnra kì í. Maiyegun ti dé. Aṣòfin tí ń rúfin o. Maiyegun máa wí. Àní ẹ̀sùnra kì í. Maiyegun ti dé. Òpùrọ́ olóṣèlú. Maiyegun máa wí. Àní ẹ̀sùnra kì í. Maiyegun ti dé. Ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùnra kì í. Maiyegun ti dé. Àní ẹ̀sùnra kì í. Maiyegun ti dé. Maiyegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùnra kì í. Maiyegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùnra kì í. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe, ọmọ bá dèrò ní fi wọ́n níran o. Maiyegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùnra kì í. Maiyegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùnra kì í. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe, ọmọ bá dèrò ní fi wọ́n níran. Wọ́n fowó bẹ́ẹ̀ o. Maiyegun ó sọ pé wọ́n ò fẹ́ bẹ́ẹ̀. Wọ́n fowó bẹ́ẹ̀. Maiyegun ó sọ pé wọn ò gbẹ́bẹ̀ oníkan ṣáàtì ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe fáwọn ará ìlú tó gbé wọn débẹ̀ o àyè.
Maiyegun ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kì. Maiyegun ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní má ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ ò ní fi wọ́n níran.
Kì máa yí ṣe eré ọ̀rọ̀ yìí kì í ṣe ẹ̀fẹ̀. Kì máa yí ṣe eré ọ̀rọ̀ yìí kì í ṣe ẹ̀fẹ̀. Ẹni bá ti lè lẹ́bọ̀ lẹ́rù o ọmọ bá dèrò kàṣàyè tú wọn síta.
Maiyegun ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kì. Maiyegun ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní má ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ ò ní fi wọ́n níran.
Tẹnitẹni ọmọ Maiyegun ọ̀rẹ́ ara ìlú mọ̀mọ́ ni mo fọlọ́run sọ ẹ̀ bá kìlẹ́bù. Lóòótọ́ olódodo ìlú ọ̀tá ìlú mọ̀mọ́ ni ìwọ ṣá máa ń ṣọ́ra kò sì mọ́ bẹ̀rù. Bọ́tà lè rí bóníṣègùn lé káwọ́ mọ̀mọ́ fi ṣera wọn ni ó ti dẹrùn tí wọn ò gbọ́dọ̀ sè mọ́bẹ̀. Èèpo ọ̀bọ lọmọ bá dérò tàjẹ́ ò gbọ́dọ̀ jẹ́ ó ti jọba lórí àbínú ẹni kò sì mọ́ fòyà. Àìsíwọ́lu ní ẹnìkẹ́ ìgbódì ẹyin lábàrá o ó kó ẹni tó bá dán o àkàmù. Maiyegun ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ túnra kì. Maiyegun ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀.